Hello guys, this is Paula. As you know, here to work on this December daily. I'm telling you, it is getting bulky, but that's okay. It'll really be bulky once I put photographs in the back of this part, once we're past the 31 days. Okay, so I'm on December 14th, which is going to be a simple page. And I've pre-cut and got things ready because this would have took me forever. I'm using some of Tim Holtz's letters. You know, the little black ones that are tiny and you have to chase down to get them on a piece of paper so you can cut it out as one piece. That's what I'm doing. So today, I decided I didn't have anything really to post about, and so I was thinking about our menu for dinner. Well, usually we do an early dinner, you know, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, sometimes 4. And then, of course, the kids open, we all open our gifts. And then we have dessert. By that time, you're ready to eat just about anything you can get your hands on. So, I did you know me and my file folder shapes. This is what this is. This is some old vintage ledger that I got in Ohio at an antique store. And it was super old. I didn't pay that much for it, but I actually just finished my design team project for Tracy Fox using this in my book. So watch for that video. It's probably going to be up before this one. But anyway, I love this paper. And when I saw this ledger, all I wanted to do was write on it. So I made a book. I did my design team with it so that I would have a book that I could work with. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, I'm sitting here thinking, should we put this on first? I thought we'd do it at an angle. Or should we, or do you like it straight? See, there's kind of a bend in the book. Because of the pictures here, kind of bent. Of course, every page is kind of bending at this point. I think I'm going to put it at an angle so it's not as noticeable. And then we'll add our words as we go. So I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac on the file folder. I hope you guys are getting all your shopping done and everything you need to do. It is, well, it's late at night. I'll tell you that it is 11:35 p.m. My back was bothering me and I couldn't really sit in the living room. I was watching YouTube videos and my husband and I was just talking about how, you know, I can't seem to find anything that's comfortable to sit in, except my craft chair. And I don't know, it's because I sit straight up and it just doesn't affect my back. You know, I've had 2 back surgeries. A lot of you don't know that, I'm sure, because my back has been so bad for so long. And I just have really bad arthritis and it's affected so many parts of my body. But anyway, you can tell by my knuckles, I'm sure. Okay, now we're going to glue this down at an angle so that that little bit of a bend will be more flexible than if we just did it straight up and down. I think it wouldn't be as good. But anyway, so I had to get out of there. And I was going to do this video earlier today, but I was doing my design team video, and I had some trouble with my last December daily video. So Rick was having to do some editing and try to make it where it was watchable. It kept wanting to skip. The words were skipping. It was weird. The vocals. So the sound was weird, and he worked on that, and so I didn't get this video done because he was using my camera. So anyway, so this is day 14. When I thought, okay, what am I going to do today? I thought, well, I really need to work on my menu. I need to think about what we're going to do. And my daughter had told me she would bring a ham, and so Mama don't have to do too much cooking. So this is going to be our menu. So I think I'm going to leave the menu part on this one, the white paper. I'm going to leave it on there. And I don't know why I did dinner. Maybe I was going to do something different. Maybe I was going to do dinner menu. And then I have 2018 I could put up here. I think that's what I'll do. That way we can use both those words I worked on. It's been a couple days since I got this ready. I know that as it gets closer to Christmas, time is important. It seems like we don't have as much because we're doing this and doing that and getting ready for company and, all that entails. I think I'm going to ink around these. I think they'll look better because it just seems like they're brighter than I want them to be. So you guys, I'm not going to show you right now, but I'm going to let you know that on day 16, if I don't have anything over the top to post, I'm going to post some adorable, adorable pictures of Charlie in 2013 before we found out he was sick. But, well, it was actually way before because he was only, I'm trying to remember how old he was. He wasn't a year old yet. And he was 2 when he was diagnosed. And so, but I was sitting last night thinking, oh my goodness, I forgot about, I was thinking about my December daily and what I can do on days that are the majority for me, really, where I don't really do that much because, what have I got to do? I'm kind of like some of the other YouTubers. I'm past that age where I don't have children home and the grandkids don't live right down the street. And so, there's a lot, you can only shop so much, and I try to do as much online as I can. And my husband's done a lot this year because of some of the things the grandkids are wanting, He just knows more about them. And I want to make sure it's the right thing. I'm not going to say because some of my grandkids watch my, listen to my videos, watch my videos. So, anyway, we went in tonight and just kind of laid everything out. And, it's sad, but we couldn't remember what we'd got and hadn't got. So we got that done and made a final list that we're going to try to do tomorrow. But isn't it crazy how when you get down to that last day or two, you just, don't know which way is right and which way is left. But, and I haven't even got my pies ordered. I'm not making pies, you guys. I'm not going to make pies. I'm going to order them from the bakery. But we have a really good bakery here that makes the best pies. And so we're going to do that. And my kids are used to. I am going to surprise the grandkids and make my special brownies. But other than that, I'm just going to buy pies. And my sister doesn't get to come home for Christmas Day. She usually tries to at least every other year. Her daughter lives in the same, or real close to where they live. And so they're going to do Christmas at home this year. But they're coming up for New Year's, so that'll be fun. And so I'll probably have some pictures for December 31st of my brother and his wife and my sister and her husband, because we're going to all go to dinner and come back to my house and play games and, you know, just do what old people do. We still try to do something even though we're 100. No, we're not 100. But some days I feel 100. I don't know about you guys. But anyway, so that's what our plans are. If you've got anything special or exciting, leave it in the comments. I would love to hear about your plans for the holidays. If you're going to be traveling, or if you're expecting snow or not expecting snow or hoping for it. Oh, good grief. I just did that with the last one. They're kind of hard to handle. They're so, you know, they're kind of small. Let me make sure I'm in. I am. You know, it's sad, but just want to make sure I didn't move anything. Okay, so this is going to be dinner menu. And I hope all that I have planned on for this is going to be able to fit on my journal card. If not, we'll just crowd it on there. We'll figure it out. Dinner menu. And I have to tell you, this is something I haven't done before, is do out a dinner menu. I usually write it on a piece of paper, but don't do it up all nice like this. I'm sure most of us are that way. Okay, so now we'll go for the first thing, which is going to be ham. I really wished I felt like it, because I would love to do turkey and dressing, because I haven't fixed that in some time. And because we usually have it on Thanksgiving. At my daughter will, she does Thanksgiving usually, because my son, he's not available. His wife does Thanksgiving with her family. It's kind of a family reunion kind of thing for them, I think. And so she never likes to miss that, and we don't mind. So we understand what it's like to try to stretch yourself from 2 or 3 places. You know, it's not an easy thing. My glue is trying to go nuts on my little tiny letters here. And it's going to ooze out. I know it is. So I'm going to try to wipe some of it off. I don't know what the deal is. It just kind of poured out all at once. Okay, that should help. Let's see. And actually, we went over there to their house this year. My husband and I did, and my son-in-law did, oh gosh, what was it? Prime rib, which, you know, is not something that I cook. But he is really good at cooking meat where it's not dry, and he's just, you know, he does well. So he fixed prime rib and some different things, but it's always nice to be able to have, not have to be the one in the kitchen, you know, after years and years of doing it. So, And I just realized that I left something off of here. I was trying to remember what my daughter told me to, yeah, part of this is not going to be right, but I can add. She told me she was going to make me some dressing, because that's what I was really wanting. So, I will definitely get some dressing. She makes it like I make it, so that's pretty good. Well, no, I guess she doesn't. I'm kind of old school with my dressing. I make it like my mother made it, because that's how I grew up. And she made everything from scratch, you know. She made her cornbread from scratch and so forth. But nowadays they use Jiffy cornbread mix. And now, oops, sorry. I thought I hit the camera for a second. I don't have anything against Jiffy, don't get me wrong. It's just sweeter. Makes your dressing sweeter. Which I like both, really. Yeah, I'm going to have to line these up closer together than I thought. This one, I must have had something to drink, because look how crooked that looks. I really wasn't trying to make them straight, because I kind of like them looking wonky. And, so, I think they look better when they're not perfectly straight. Depending on what you're doing with them, you know. But so tell me, if you want, you don't have to. What is your favorite meal at Christmas is, you know, or your favorite dessert? And another thing I think would be fun is, what is your favorite, just your favorite part of Christmas? You know, I think mine is just, my very favorite part is not the food. It's really, my favorite part is watching my grandkids open their gifts and watching the excitement that they have. And it's just, I get excited about watching them. So, you know, you never want them to seem or feel disappointed. So you always try to do your very best as a grandparent. We have 5 grandkids, but I can't imagine spreading it out amongst, you know, 10 grandkids or whatever. I know there's people who have way more than we do. And, but I can't imagine having them all at my house, because we barely can all fit in the house as it is. I feel like the noise level is crazy, but it's worth it. Okay, so, yeah, I thought these would fit on the line a little better. I guess I could have cut them down, but I don't want to take a chance of ruining them after I got them all fixed nicely. Oh boy, this next one's going to be a long one. Okay. Of course, last year, we were just excited to have Charlie home. He was home the year before last, but just barely. He ended up in the hospital and didn't get out until right before they came to the house, or the same day. And we do Christmas Eve. That way, my son and his family can travel to her side of the family, which is a few hours away. And so we do Christmas Eve, and we, you know, I'm just, it doesn't matter to Rick and I, you know, whether it's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, just whatever works. Every once in a while we have to swap it around because my daughter is on staff at church and she has to plan around, you know, the Christmas services. It depends on what day Christmas falls on, is usually how we have to judge it. But so I guess it was, yeah, not this last year, but the year before last. So much fun watching Charlie. Last Christmas, he was home too. So we've had him home the last 2 Christmases, I believe. And so he's a mess. Boy, howdy. Wait till you see the word casserole. Looks like a roller coaster. I can't believe I didn't notice that, or maybe I really just wasn't paying attention to how crooked it was. So, my daughter loves my daughter-in-law's green bean casserole, which isn't going to fit on here, so we'll have to do it like this. Look how crooked this is. I know. I could abbreviate it and just call it Cass. But I don't think that would be right either. So I'm just going to put it on there crooked. I can say that I did the video at 11:30 at night, and you know, it was just late. That would not be true, because I did these letters yesterday. I had planned on doing this video yesterday, but it just didn't work out for me to do that. Okay, so the next thing is going to be the rose. Now, mind you, I'm going to have to add dressing on here, but I'm not going to bore you with me putting letters together for dressing. I'll just put it out beside the ham or below the casserole. But I'm going to put the homemade rose on here. Well, I don't know if we're going to do homemade rose because I settled for my daughter to do dressing. And they're the only ones that really make good homemade rose. I'm not a bread maker, you guys. I'm really not into cooking. It's not my thing. I have friends and family that just love to cook. Not me. It's my least favorite thing to do. I mean, I will do it, but I don't, it's not my big cup of tea. Okay, let me get this first big blob of glue here. It looks like there's some right there too, doesn't it? I'll have to wait till it dries a little bit and then go back, and every now and then I'm finding a letter sticking up, which is weird because I really put the glue on heavy. Okay, so now I'm not putting the brownies on here because it's not written in stone that I will do the brownies. I'm really going to try to either do brownies or fudge. I'm going to let my husband decide. The grandkids love fudge. They don't like the nuts in the fudge, which I can't have any more anyway. So found out this last year I'm allergic to nuts. Not just that, but I'm allergic to egg yolk. And I mean, you know, a lot of the typical stuff, you know, anything to do with outside. And dust. dust mites, and I thought this was funny. Cockroaches. Now, is that crazy? Have you ever heard of that? We've never had cockroaches. I don't remember. Maybe when we first got married and lived in an apartment or something. But typically we don't. I'm going to put the pies down here and leave a space in case I want to add something later on. Okay, so this was day 14, and I thought, what better color to use than black? And I'm going to put it, I'm trying to decide if I want to put it straight. I should have moved the pie over. Let's see if I can. You know, it's hard to put stuff down toward the binding because it really does affect how bulky this thing gets. So I've been trying to put my numbers on the outside page of the page. Get that big blob of glue off. Okay. So let's put the 4 on first. I just took one of those giant markers, just a permanent marker, and I went over this with a permanent marker. I didn't paint it. And I've done that with a lot of the numbers. But today was the first day. I finally ran out of ones. So now I have to go back and buy some more. I'll probably buy a pack of each, you know, so I can still alternate. And it will, you know, here I am on, it only lasted me 15 days. The number ones did, so I figure I'll be able to get, hopefully I'll be fine because we'll be going into the 2s before I finish. So one more package of each. I bought wooden ones. These are wooden. And then I bought some chipboard ones that have silver on them. Good grief. Something so simple, and I have to deal with the glob of glue. I'm getting close to the bottom of this bottle, and you know how it is when that happens. Okay, I think that's straight. Okay. You know, I don't worry about perfection with this. I just kind of just do it. And it's not like, you know, this is for me, so I don't worry about it being perfect. I am pretty much a perfectionist, but on this, I just had decided before I ever started that I was just going to have fun with it. Well, because first of all, I'd never done one before. And let me make sure that 4 is straight. That's close enough. I think it's a little high, but that's all right. I'm going to get my, I have this little, way back, this thing is as old as I am, way back in the day when ceramics were, you know, a big deal. This was one of the tools that I used. That's how long I've hung on to this crazy thing. That's why my scrapbook room could be lots bigger, and I'd be much happier. So, speaking of scrapbook rooms, guess what my husband did? He ordered me, I'm counting in my head, 1, 2, 3 new shelves, and I won't ever have to buy any more because there will be no place to put any more. But he's finally going to let me steal a space in his office to put my armoire. And I think I got all the big globs of glue. Because when they're kind of coming off of here and they look black. So that's why I'm trying to I'm sure it's that marker I was just bragging about. I was proud that I thought of that. Didn't have to wash the paintbrush out or anything. Okay. There we go. Now, this is page 4 or day 14. And let me see how much time we can finish the next page, because it's not going to take very long. So the next page is day 15, which, as it turns out, was my birthday. So I decided that I'm going to put, first I had cut out a cupcake, and I thought, well, I'll put this cupcake in. But since then, I got this, I must have touched this with my wet rag. Excuse me. Since then, of course, my sister always has my card delivered the day of my birthday. And so she sent me this old broken down bicycle. It says happy birthday. I never know what she's going to send me, so it just worked out. It was something I could actually put on paper. And it just says, hope it's a day filled with surprises and laughter and a year of adventures to remember long after. And she said, just love you bunches. Big sis. Have a wonderful day. So I love that. She always puts big sis. She is my big sis. She's the oldest. And she and I are very close. I mean, we are sidekicks. We like doing the same kind of things, and she likes to scrapbook, and she likes to make mini albums. Now, mind you, she wouldn't craft at all if I didn't tie a noose around her neck. No, I'm just kidding. I had to convince her many years ago, and once she started, she enjoyed it. But she won't do it without me. Usually, unless her daughter wants to do it. Her daughter likes to scrapbook, and her granddaughter. So sometimes they'll get together and scrapbook. But they're very busy, so that doesn't happen a lot. So she drags her stuff up here, and we scrapbook when she comes to my house, or when I go to her house, or whatever. We have fun. We do like the retreat I just went to. She came up and we went together. We always have lots of fun. She's as crazy as I am, so that works out really well. Yeah, she's there for me and I'm there for her. And that is how it's always been, even when we were kids. I want to say she's, I'm trying to think how many years older than me she is. Now that I'm 62, I think she just turned 68 this year. So, but they live in Kansas, and so I don't get to see her all the time. But, I mean, we usually see each other about every 6 weeks. Usually during the winter time is the only time it might stretch further if the weather's bad. They get a lot more snow there than we do in Oklahoma. Okay, so I'm not going to just put this card in here and be done with it. I think I'm going to put the number on the outside, but I'm going to wait till we're finished with the inside. I don't know whether I want to put this on here now or not. I had just freehanded. I just got the scissors and freehanded a cupcake because that's what I was going to use. It's cattywampus. Like one side might be bigger than the other. So I thought I could, since I already had it cut out before I knew that she was, that my card was going to come on the same day. So I did this, and then I put a little candle, and I didn't do appropriate colors for the flame. This is a blue flame, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it on there since I cut it out. I mean, we got time. So what I did was I just did an oval, and then I cut a slit. I just did an oval, and I cut a slit in it to slide the cupcake down into it. And so I'll glue it on like that just to kind of give it like the look of a plate. And then I'm going to put some lace. I wonder if I should put the lace behind it. I'm thinking how it will lay down the best. Probably if it's more like that, don't you think? Maybe if I stick it behind there. I don't know. It looks like that lace is going to ravel, though, if I do that. Well, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that part. We'll just glue it down and then see what happens. It doesn't matter. I just said a few minutes ago it didn't matter. Here I am trying to be perfectionist again. This is that glittery paper that I bought for this book because, the color scheme is pink and blue. Well, and I'm not really sticking to that, really. It's super hardcore or anything. I'm not worrying about it that much, but I should put glue behind this part. If I don't, it might be kind of floppy. Let's see. Let's just put it across there. I'm telling you, I don't know about you guys, but I wear glue everywhere I go. I have glue. I can wash my hands and 30 minutes later, I am like still pulling glue off my fingers. It's like I got a sunburn or something. Okay. Now we got to get this part to lay down. Since it's not really on a flat surface, I don't know how it's going to do, but we'll see. We might have to staple it on. Just joking. Although I do love it, don't you, when you can staple something on with your tiny attacher. It just seems like, I don't know, I just love the texture it gives. Okay, so let's see what this would look like on here. I'm thinking if we kind of do it up like that at the top, it's going to cover the bottom of the cupcake a little, but that's all right. See, that will look better then. We'll see what happens. There is no telling what will happen when I lay this down. We'll probably have glue everywhere, guys. Just because it's an odd shape. I just pulled this out of my scraps. And I'll end up adding glue where I need to add it. I try not to go too crazy here with the glue. So I'm going to do like this. Take it up to the sides of the cupcake. Now it's not going to be perfect because this lace is, like I said, a scrap. But you know how when you go to a cupcake store, they have that fake, like doily-like stuff. This is what I'm trying to mimic. And then we can trim that off if we need to. I don't know if that's enough glue under there. It doesn't really appear to be. So what I think I'm going to do is add some underneath on the sides to make sure it stays down right there. We'll have to leave this page open, but if we do that, then we can't put our number on. I don't know. Have to think about that one. Anywhere the ruffle or the lace is lying down onto the paper, I'm going to put a little dab of glue, because that way it'll look like it has more dimension and look more 3D, which it is 3D already, but it'll give it more texture and maybe hold it onto the page. Okay, there we go. Now let's see where this takes us. You can see where I drew on the back. Can you guys see? Am I over too far? No, but I almost am. I'm going to move over so you guys can see better. Sorry about that. I get going here, running my mouth, and forget what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to load this down with glue pretty good, because it's going to be heavier than normal also. So I just, like I said, I just kind of drew around on the back of the page. So the shape is not your perfect everyday cupcake shape, but it's about as good as it's going to get when you do it freehand. And it's crazy. I have die cuts that could cut out a perfect cupcake, but did I dig them out? No, I didn't. So that's just how it goes. I just didn't do it. I don't know why that's not wanting to stick right there. It's probably because this is flat. Or is not flat, I put it that way. I've got glue all over me. Of course, it doesn't help that I'm having to wrestle my bottle over here. You know, guys, you know how I do with the glue bottle. I'm just clumsy. Got to get some of this glue off in order to touch that, because every time I touch it, it wants to come up. It's because my glue is going nuts right now. You know how it does when it gets low. Sorry, guys. Okay, now maybe we can move forward. Now we're going to put on the candle. And I will tell you this about the candle. I rounded the top just a little bit. I just cut a strip off of the paper. But what I'm going to tell you about the candle is, I'm not one. Nope, I'm not 1 year old. But that's the only amount of candles I'm putting on here, because this book couldn't hold them, even if I wanted it to. Now, I hope this is center. I think it's close enough. And it's just kind of stuck on there, so it, you know, it's not going to look as fancy as how it connected down here. Now, if I would have slit a hole in there, which is what I should have done, it would have looked better. But I didn't think about it. Just didn't think about it. That's what happens when you turn 62. You don't think about stuff like that. Not really. I'm determined to never feel like I'm 62. There we go. I think that's straight. I was just sitting here thinking what it would look like if we cut out just a tiny little piece. See, I shouldn't have said anything, because then I made myself think that I could make this look better. Now I'm just going to cut kind of like this. Just kind of a shape that kind of looks like it could be some frosting. or a peanut shell. Who knows? Let's see what it's going to look like. I probably won't end up doing this, but I was just curious. And if it did turn out, I would want you to be involved. I don't know. I do not know. I wonder if we did 2 blobs, if it would look more natural. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Like maybe put, you know, a couple blobs on here. Maybe like that. Well, it just fell because I dropped my little thing on the book. My scissors. One thing I can tell you is you don't want any pointed edges when you do this. Now see, I don't like the 2. Wonder what it would have looked like had I put it behind like that. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Let's do that. Why not? We'll just re-glue the. We're gonna re-glue the candle since we pulled it up out of its place, and we'll glue it back down. I think that's the way I had it. Isn't that terrible? I don't even remember. Maybe not. Maybe it was the other way. Here we go. Yeah, I think that's how it was. I'm glad everything's shiny on this paper. I'd be in trouble. Because it would be... it would definitely be noticeable if it wasn't shiny. Okay, now before I lay this down, let's see how I had it. Maybe like that. You guys think I'm crazy? I'm telling you, if I can come up with it in my brain, I try to, but this is when I feel like I'm 10 again, whenever you just decide to sit down and just do something. There we go. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to set a book or something on this overnight. And we'll have to add our number in the next video. Or I'll add it before the next video. But just so you know, I'm going to put the number on the front of the card. So basically on the outside part, I'll show you where I'm going to put it. And, you know, when December's over, I'll do a flip through. But, trying to get this glue off. I'll do a flip through, and we'll just go through the whole thing. And then it will go on the shelf, and probably won't come out again until, you know, next Christmas, when I look to see what I did one year, so I don't do it again the next year. If you know what I mean. Okay, so, what am I forgetting? I was going to put I know what I was going to do. I was going to put a package on here. Look at this little package. Do you think I should put it here? Or put it over here? I think I like it over here. That way it's kind of spread out a little. You know what I mean? That way it doesn't look like everything's in one spot. And actually, these packages are from Christmas Ephemera. But it just so happens it's the right color. So it worked out. The only thing is they do have little pop dots on the back. So they're kind of hard to... I should have pulled that off. Let me see if I still can. Yeah, I can. I think it will do better if we pull it off, the sponge on the back. And if it won't come off, this one, we'll toss this one and get another one. Because there's several just like this one. I'm just thinking, sitting here trying to pull it off, and it's glued down, and I just added glue to it. It's coming off. Look at that. I don't know what the package will look like when we're done, but it is coming off. All over me. A little bit more here. Like I said, I use this little knife for everything. It's kind of curved, but it has helped me through a lot of difficult times. That sounds crazy, but it has. Okay, so this should be flatter now. So let's lay that down. Even though I'm covered in glue, I'm still going to try to glue this down. Let's see what happens. Always try to figure out a way. That's what I do. I'm going to put some glue on this acetate too. Probably be able to see it, but now you want to put it over the glue that, yeah, that's much better. I should have done that to start with. It's already flat. I'm going to hold it for a second. If I can find a finger that doesn't have glue on it. Okay. Now, get this big glob off my finger, and then we will move on. Okay, so like I said, we are doing day 15, so I'm going to show you real quick. If I can move this paper out of the way, I'm going to move this just barely. It's still not stuck down, so I'm kind of... It's just because it's got so much texture to it. I wish you'd look at that. It got wet. I guess my wipey was laying next to it, and it just soaked right in. So the number is going to go here on the front of the card. So if I decide not to put it there, I'll put it here. Which I kind of like it there, actually. Let's put it here. Then we can be done with it, right? We don't have to think about it again tomorrow or the next day. And when I put a book on here, it will hold everything down. Now, this did have adhesive on the back, but I just don't trust it over time. You know, I think over time it would not stay down very good. So I'll tell you, and I'll have to journal about this. But my husband and I, he took me to dinner last night, and I hadn't gone anywhere all day, but he took me to dinner, and then I really needed to go stop in and get a new pair of jeans, and I'm picking glue. I'm sorry, and so we go in to the place where I'm shopping for jeans, and when we pull up into the parking lot, my daughter calls me. She had called me early in the morning, and I was still asleep. They forget that we are retired. Anyway, so she had called me. She said, I'll call you back, you know, when you're awake. So she called me when we pulled into the parking lot, so I was sitting there talking to her. My husband's phone rang. I didn't think anything about it. He got out of the car and was talking to someone, and I figured it was my son because, I mean, my son had already called me to wish me a happy birthday, but my son and my husband have been working on the kids' gifts and stuff, you know, asking questions back and forth, and one of them's getting one part, one of them's getting the other part, and so forth. But anyway, so we get off the phone with my daughter, and we go in, and I forgot about his phone call, so I didn't even ask him who it was. And I was standing and looking at the jeans, and I had my back to the door, and here, all of a sudden, I'm standing there, and I talking to my husband, and he's not looking at anybody or anything. All of a sudden, I feel this arm wrap around me. And instead of jumping or swinging, I didn't know what it was. And I just looked at my husband and gave him this look of like, what is that? Who is that? You know? It scared me. And I didn't know if something fell on me or what. But so then my husband smiled, and I turned and looked, and it was my son standing there with my gift. He had come to the same area and was shopping. I guess he was shopping for his wife or one of the kids, but he said they were multitasking. I guess she was fixing dinner while he was doing a little bit of shopping. They're pretty busy, you know, when you have your own business and 3 kids, it takes a lot of time. So anyway, little sweetheart can't hunt his mama down. He was going to drive to my house, which was much further, and come in there and hugged his mama and gave her a gift, which I would have took the hug and been happy with that. But little sweetheart. Anyway, he stood there and talked with us for a little bit, and after we left there, we went to dinner. We ended up going there first, and then we went to dinner. Okay, so that is the end of this part, and my pages are trying to stick together. Got glue everywhere. And so I'm just going to say to you, since it is, my clock has stopped. It's 11:30 now. I told you it was 11:30 earlier. It was 10:30 earlier. So now it's 11:30. I was looking at my clock wrong, I guess. So here is page 14. All finished and nice and crooked, just like a Grammy. And here is page 15. And here is the birthday stuff. So, today is actually the 16th. And so tomorrow will be the 17th. And I will try to do the 16th and 17th together tomorrow. And probably will have some special pictures of Charlie. At least if I don't have anything else really going on, all we've got to do tomorrow is wrap. We haven't wrapped one gift, so we got to do that, and we got to finish shopping, and that will be it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're just watching for the first time and haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. We don't do cut and paste like this most of the time. We make journals and embellishments. So if you think you would like that sort of thing, subscribe. Hit the red button. hit the bell and it will give you a notification whenever I post a new video. All right, guys. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.